Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. There's a timeline on this evening's podcast because the battery is low on my Zoom recorder and we don't have any surplus batteries in the O'Sullivan household.
Thank you, Santi.
Thank you, Santa Claus. The date is the 29th of January and it's still fucking January. We're still in fucking January. January is just dragging on like a wet week, but instead of it being a week, it's like a wet month, a wet month of misery. Although I have to say, I don't dislike January. I like January, particularly the start of January. I said January a lot there now.
Say it again, January. Crack.
But it's a time that I make a lot of plans and put a lot of plans into place in my life or my work life. And I've been just flat out now for the last month, just doing it between the new podcast, this podcast, trying to bring out a sketch now every week, running my club, doing my own solo gigs, trying to rehearse, trying to write, blah, 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 blah. I won't bore you with the details. I'm fucking flat out and I'm ready for a break.
You're busy, Con.
I'm ready for January to fuck off and just kind of get into work, get into the body of normal stand-up as opposed to just organising, what am I doing this month, what am I doing that month, blah blah blah. I was at the Cork football match today and first round of the league, and you minded the kids. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate that. Your mom's up with us at the moment as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage this week's guest, the Queen herself.
It's me,
Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan. And we are in the John Hume War Room. We're on to our second bottle of Dada. It is 9:42 p.m. This podcast is coming out tomorrow morning. The patrons will be getting a little bit of a... They'll be getting it...
They'll be getting a solid midnight hour.
You're getting it an hour in advance today, patrons.
I'm very sorry.
Don't worry. I've given them extra content last month, and they're going to be getting... or this month already, and they're going to be getting... extra content as well.
When should you release your videos on that?
That's what I'm going to do.
Oh,
I'm going to start releasing.
That'd be cool.
The sketches are going to come out now as well for patrons only. First,
we do appreciate the Patreons.
Yeah, we do.
We never cashed in the Patreon money.
We must cash that in. Actually, we must cash that in and get shit like I do. I remember we were saying about getting the holders for these microphones, so that
that'd be good.
Because if we had those, then the sound sometimes I'm kind of leave the microphone go down here sometimes, and the sound can suffer.
But then, do you not, even if they're on a stand, would you not be just more inclined to move away from them, or no?
The inclination is I've done podcasts like the other podcast I do, Tree by the Lee. Check it out, guys. It's a great podcast with Chris Kent and Shtay Quinlan.
Ding ding.
We have we've record that inside in Red FM Studios in Cork, so it's like the top of the range equipment and all that kind of carry on.
It's as far from top of the range equipment you were weird.
Well, the equipment is good, but we're hand holding the mics. Oh, woe is me. This is first world problems here now we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
There's refugees who are sleeping on the street.
Stop! I can't even talk about that tonight.
I know. But I'm just saying this is first world problems. But at the same time, each to their own, I suppose. Went to the match. Cork lost. Everton fucking are without a manager still.
Did I see Stephen Gerrard sign? No, was that a piss take?
Fucking meme from Liverpool fans. I don't know. I made this joke earlier on. I'm going to make it again. If you want a team to get relegated, get on to me. I'll start supporting them, and they're bound to start being absolutely useless. Because anytime I take a proper interest in one of the teams that I support, which has been Everton for the last couple of years, I've been keenly following us for the last couple of years, and we have steadily been going down and down and down, and now Cork footballers as well, just terrible. Anyway,
but haven't you just been interested in them all the time?
I have, but I go through waves of fervent interest.
I suppose, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Going to the league match, for example.
Exactly. Going to the first round of the league today. I'm really, really into the Cork Gaelic footballers the last couple of years. But last year we went to a championship match with the boys, and I went to a lot of the matches. And this year I just want to follow them. I want to support them because they're not as popular as the hurlers in Cork. The Cork hurlers, they like everybody just gets behind them. The footballers, they've a much smaller fan base.
So would that be then? Because obviously, being from Kerry, where football is amazing, a dual county, does that mean then, is that ingrained then? Like, so you've got a 17, 18-year-old that's good at hurling and football. Are they going to, like, when do they make the one rule, like, one sport rule? Like,
well, usually if you're good enough to play hurling and football for your county, and it's rare enough that is the case.
No, but even for your club, right? So you're really good.
They'll generally
club player.
play both. Like Colm O'Neill is a great example. So in our club, Paul Flinner is another great example in our club. They're both played for Cork hurling, or both played for Cork in football, but they both played hurling and football for Ballyclaw.
Right.
So when you play with your club, if your club is a dual club, you'll generally play both codes
for the club.
But with the county, you'll make your mind up. Like Colm played hurling and football for Cork at a minor level and even at under 21 level, but then it came to a stage where he had to decide, where the management of the hurling and football were saying, you need to choose one here because it's pretty impossible nowadays to play both inter-county.
So at 21, but then at 21, are they going, management and stuff will say of the hurling, going, look, and I know you say that hurling is probably a more skilled sport, that's what you would say, but
well, that's what everybody in the whole wide world would say. Like, football is for people who can't play hurling, is the general
I'm
consensus.
looking forward to the next time you meet Colm O'Neill. So
but Colm O'Neill could have played hurling for Cork. He chose football.
But did he?
He chose it, yeah. Categorically chose it himself. The player ultimately decides.
Yeah, but is it really you choose? Do they end up choosing football because you're more likely to get pitch time, or whereas does everyone really want hurling in Cork now because the hurlers are more successful at the moment? We'll say, like, I really want, so the best of the best are going into the hurling, and then it's a bit of the cast stuff's going into football.
And I'll give you examples. So there's a hurler and footballer who played for hurling and football from Cork, from Kanturk, called Aidan Walsh, and he chose hurling, which is the harder of the two teams to make. He chose I think he should have stuck with the fucking football myself. Damien Cahalan, who's currently playing with the hurlers, plays full back for Cork, chose to play hurling instead of playing football. And
but if he's currently making the football team, he's good enough. He would have made the football team as well. Then
he could have played either. He chose hurling over football. You know what I mean? He chose.
Yeah, but what about the fellas who are subs for the hurling team? Like,
yeah,
they
No, I know what you're saying, but it's not the train of thought.
It's not right. Yeah.
I know.
It's with your love for which one is what will drive you, as opposed to how much field or play time you'll get.
Exactly. It's like if you were playing basketball and you were playing hockey, and you loved basketball, and you liked playing hockey, and you could make both teams. You're going to choose the team. You're going to choose the one you love. And even if you couldn't make the team, you'll still choose the one you love and try and make the team. But anyway, it makes no fucking difference. Far from Colm O'Neill, that's what we have in the football team at the moment. We're absolutely shocking. Oh my God, absolutely no imagination. I don't know if anyone's interested, right, in the Cork footballers, but I'll tell you, as far as I'm concerned, Cork football, there's Cork football is going nowhere. There's no imagination. Like, you look at Kerry. I watched Fossa playing there last week, right? They got to the All-Ireland final, the junior.
Two Kerry teams.
Two Kerry teams got the intermediates and the juniors. But I watched the Fossa game with interest because that Cú Cullen guy is playing David Clifford, you know? And he's unbelievable. He wins. Now, he's a once-in-a-generation type footballer, right? But if you look at the 6 forwards that play for Kerry, each and every one of them have one thing on their mind when they get the ball, and that is to try and create or score a score for Kerry.
But Kerry have kind of kept the
the
imagination part as well.
They've all the imagination has been fucking trained out of Cork. like there was I won't name players now because.
But
like,
is that because Cork are trying to do the Dublin like moving forward thing?
No,
I don't know
they're
why
just-
we're even gotten into this conversation because I
No.
won't be able for it with you.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it. No, but you're asking questions that like
Do you know? But that style of play that was dominating with Dublin, wasn't it? The block all the forwards like.
That's the Donegal thing that
Yeah.
Jim McGuinness did. That's almost gone now. It's
Is it?
Yeah, that like it's a running game now, kind of pass and go and support and come around in the D's and circle back, and like cornerbacks are scoring now like regularly. A cornerback
Really,
will get
yeah.
2 or 3 points. Like today, the Mead cornerback scored number 4. I can't think of his name. Scored 2 points. But what I'm saying, right, is irrespective of style, irrespective of how a team is set up to play, whether it's playing the Donegal negative way or the Dublin or Kerry swashbuckling way, our players, our team, Cork football at the moment are playing in a state of fear, in
Right.
a state of I don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah. Well, that's a desperate place to be in.
And it's like,
That's not showing your skill at all, really. Like,
and
is it?
I feel for the players, and I'm just like, I don't think the players are good enough anyway, right, at the moment. But I'm not even sure, and the management is new enough. John Cleary's in there now, but I just think it's a psychological thing with Cork football that there's fear there. We're gonna way off now talking about football.
Way
for
off.
ages,
Why are you talking to
'cause
me
I
about
went to the
football?
match today.
I know, but it's like that's for Pete or for one of your other guests.
I'm sorry.
Like, why aren't we talking about my births? I'm joking, obviously.
I'm sorry. Well, let's go on to
It was
trending.
interesting though. It kind of brought me back to my former life when I used to be going to football matches.
What was that like?
That was great crack. I was usually hungover. Go on, Jackie. Go on, Hayes.
Jackie Hayes. Oh, they're your friends, is it? That you went with? Is
My
it?
friends, Jacqueline and Hazel. Like,
Hayes. Oh, Hazel. Hayes. I never heard you
Hazel.
refer to Hazel as Hayes. Trending topics with Cornelius Patrick Sullivan. #love.
oh. All you need is love. I don't know why it's trending. But when do we ever know? When do I ever know why it's trending? Love. It's nearly Valentine's.
Maybe that's why it's trending.
Maybe. I can't think of anything else. Yeah. Love. Valentine's. You're the love of my life. 11 years ago we met in January.
It is.
Actually, it just came up. Thank you, Facebook. We'd be lost without Facebook, the two of us, for reminding us. 11 years ago, went on our first date,
Yeah.
which we've already discussed on
Yeah,
the podcast.
fucking-
But anyway,
that could've
maybe
been
a
2
year
years
ago. 2 years,
It could've
a
been
year
2 years
ago.
ago.
But yeah, so we met
We don't have
online.
to get into
No, we don't.
Yeah.
But it's an example of January. What are they? Resolutions.
Oh yeah. New Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions having a good impact. Get out there.
Was that a
Say yes.
was that
it
a New Year's resolution for you?
It
at the
probably
time?
wasn't. It wasn't like a resolution, but it was a fuck it.
Yeah.
Do you know,
I'm going to
like,
try out the old internet dating
Gonna
again.
go on the old, yeah.
I wouldn't
like,
mind
you know
getting an
what?
old man
Like,
into my life.
But I think January is a time to be more open a bit, because you're looking at your everything is forcing you to look at your life, I suppose, isn't it? Bit.
I agree. I think
So-
I think November is reflective. I think December is busy because you've got Christmas, and I think
Everyone is busy,
like
like
also
ants, like
do you know
single
the way
people.
December
Everyone.
ends as well, especially when you're single and you're in your 20s and your 30s, late 20s, early 30s, and you're single, and you see other people paired up and stuff like that, and you might be. This is my own experience, speaking from my own experience, because before I met you, all my friends were really in relationships, and I was like, oh, maybe I should kind of look a little bit harder or a little bit more,
Because I was only thinking about it today. It's funny because I was thinking just briefly. It was about that we met because, and I know it's because I had been on Plenty of Fish before, but everything had fizzled out.
what?
Still was had the app after we were engaged, but anyway.
I remember you were on it for about 6 months after we were with each other. I kept going
I
every
just
time.
didn't delete it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I wasn't sure about you, but anyway.
Likely story.
I went on that date with you because Kira, my friend, had dated somebody was going out very briefly, but was going out with someone from Plenty of Fish. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to log back in that January, coming back to down home. I'm going to log back in. And then they broke up really fast. He was weird, but like, she subsequently met her husband through Plenty of Fish. So
Did she meet Joe on Plenty of Fish?
I think they did.
Shout
I'm
out to
95% sure they did.
And
And
Joe.
shout out to Kira and Joe, and if either of you actually listen to the podcast, we'll know now.
We will. We definitely will. So don't
But
be fucking
anyway-
bullshitting us at parties. I listen to your podcast all the time, Connie. It's brilliant. Do you, Kira? All right, okay. When did we mention you?
But so it was directly linked to somebody else having been on the internet, but it is also linked to January, and you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
I actually think even since then, and maybe I'm aware of it more, but fuck it. It's a great statement.
Fuck it. Let's fucking do it. Just fucking do it. Just
That's a
do
Ruby's.
it.
That's a
That's-
Ruby's.
That's kind of, well, it's Nike, I think, isn't it? Just do it.
Just do it. Like, just fucking do
Just
it.
fucking do it is the Tipperary.
Changes it up.
Yeah, it Irishes it up a good bit. Yeah, I definitely think that's what January's for. It's for making plans. It's for putting things in motion. It's for going, I want to see if I can meet someone.
Will you either do that or you're depressed off your game for January, like?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one or the other, isn't it? And it's such a long month.
Jesus Christ, Con, I'm roasted inside here.
Oh, great. Well, that's because I have two heaters going. I
And
don't
the
want you to be
heating.
cold, because you are a cold creature. Hashtag spring. I presume that's trending now because we're on the verge of spring.
Interesting. Or tulips and or snowdrops are coming up out in the garden.
Were you tending to the garden
I
today?
was tending to the garden.
As your husband was above
I
in
was
Cork
tending
watching
to
the
the
football
garden
match, the pressed off his game.
in January for the first time since we moved in.
There's solace in gardening.
Well,
I
it
fucking
was
have to get
I
back
did
into
it
it.
15. I did 20 minutes, but I am going to try. I took down the Christmas lights that broke as well, which was just the most depressing thing that you could possibly do. Taking down Christmas lights is a pain in the hole anyway. Taking down Christmas lights that are broken is a lot worse. But I did just break them a lot more and just fuck them down.
Fuck him in the bin. Yeah.
Very disappointing. But anyway, yeah, so that was nice. Spring. It was a lovely spring day today. Actually, it was a lovely day. Do you notice?
I did.
And got the boys out. Went to Nana Nagel. The boys were Pearl Hunter. Whew, my feet, my legs are tired. My legs are sore. Turns out he had a fuck off blister on his ankle.
Were you just going, you're grand, walk it off?
Grand,
I've done
because
that
it
with
only happened when we could see the car, like it was the very end, and he's, oh my foot, like carry me money. There we go. Hashtag mom gills for the week.
Yeah.
There, I made him walk to the rest of the way to the car.
Because you see, sometimes you have to. It's like when we were giving him the bat tonight, and he wouldn't put his foot down, And then I came over and I was like, "No, you can put your foot down. You're a tough guy. You can do it." And then he put it down. And he was like, "No, it's too sore," and brought it back up. And then I was like, "Come on now, Hunt. Come on. I know you can do it." And then he did it, and he was fine. And
He
then
wasn't.
Wasn't he?
No, he came out a second later.
When I went
It's
away.
too sore.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah, he
Christ.
was out again.
All right, okay.
He was
So.
stingy, he was stingy on his little footy. He was like, as I said
I
to
went
Mom,
away, I walked away from that experience going,
thinking,
that's
no.
it now, that's what a dad has to do. Sometimes a dad has to try and make
No,
his
and
son
then he
be
goes,
a little bit
and
tougher.
then, I know.
Oh, fuck's
And then
sake.
in
And that's
actual
probably
fact-
wrong as well, like.
and
We're
in
all
act-
fucking up.
It's hard to know what to do. And
How do you know, are we
'cause
fucking good parents at all? This
he
fucking
said,
parenting lark is fucking shite.
he said, I know tough, man. I know tough.
Oh no, he didn't say that. Oh my god. All right, listen, if you're listening to this fucking podcast, just ring the police, send them over here.
But I was laughing
I'll just hold my hands up. As a parent, I'm fucking failing dramatically this week.
But I was laughing because he wasn't like Statue David. They have their legs down, but Hunter was like the Statue of David. It's the best way I could describe it. In the bat, with one foot out of the bat, going. And I was washing him down, And he's like, I keep my
Like a
foot
horse.
out. I keep my foot out, Mom. I keep my foot up here. So he had one foot up with the sore ankle after his mother didn't lift him up, and then his father made him put the foot
I
into
know,
the
but all we're
water.
trying to do is toughen him up a small bit for life. Because like sometimes, do you know, like that was my thing. Like,
And just after dawning me, I made him walk with it, and then
I made him scald it. We're fucking torturing him.
he's going around
Can we
with
even
his
put this
little sore
podcast
finger.
out now? The ISPCA, or is that for the animals?
ISPCA.
I don't know. Don't ring the guard.
Animals.
Don't ring the guards on us, lads. Because
We
honestly,
actually do love them.
we love them and we do our best by them, but we're constantly.
And Hunter
fucking
loves me.
up.
He told me, and as he was going to sleep.
I love you, Manny.
I love you,
Careful
Manny.
with that lead there now. Don't get carried away with that lead.
Oh, sorry. It was
You
just
could
annoying me.
you could undo all the.
Will I do a little
Do a little what? No, you're grand.
sound
You're
check?
grand. You're grand. You're grand. I can see your sound is fine, but I'm just
Okay,
saying.
perfect. I'll leave it alone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Take it
Just
all
be-
back.
Just be careful. Just be careful. Hashtag summer.
Hashtag spring and hashtag summer.
Listen to me. This is what's trending.
Hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer. What's hot girl summer? You gonna be a hot girl in the summer? is
No.
it? Well,
Um,
fucking that's my bubble burst.
That was Alana
No.
last year, wasn't it? Hot girl summer. She's hot girling around the place now,
when she was single, wasn't it? Yeah.
Hot girl summer.
Now she's got a partner. Fair play to you, Alana. God bless you and all belong to you.
Summer.
I can't wait for the summer this year for some reason. Do you know what I want to do this summer? I really, really, really want. What I would love to do for 1 week this summer would be to find a place that's not Kerry. That's nowhere near your family.
In the nicest possible way.
In the nicest possible way. But I'm talking Clare or.
Well, I suppose
Galway.
we haven't gone away, like, to be fair.
Like
We're
just
together.
the four of us, and
But we're together
11
together
years now, babe.
11 years. And we went to Italy the first year we got together. And then it was all wedding stuff. We went to Italy twice more for the wedding planning. We had our wedding in Italy, and then we went to Lanzarote that year. And then since then,
Mexico for our honeymoon.
Mexico for our honeymoon. But besides that, we went to
Kerry. Every single fucking break we got.
Malta for a few days. But we haven't had a week away.
I think if we
haven't
could
had
get
time away.
like a little place, if anyone's listening to this podcast and you know of somewhere that we could rent near a beach, near a small town where there's a playground and there's building sandcastles
You basically want waterful somewhere other
with,
than
with
waterful.
none of your family around.
It's just fair enough at 11 years in. I'll
11
take
years
it.
in. And that's not.
But
no
then we'll
disrespect
actually go to Waterford the week after anyway. So
like Waterford will be like you'll sachet it in, but I'm just saying let's have a period where we're without Waterford. WW without Waterford.
Ha.
Summer. Want to elaborate any more on summer?
No,
You
I'm
don't.
not sure what the summer will hold. I am looking forward to the year ahead, I suppose, as we hit January. Have I been on? Was I on in January?
You were on the first episode.
Right. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
No.
I'd have you on every week if you'd come on.
No, I'm just trying to think of
You're my favourite
where.
guest.
Ah, bless. Just because you get to talk to your wife, we
Like
would
proper
not
conversation.
normally be talking at what time?
10:05.
We'd be watching Netflix. It is very interesting that we have nice conversations on the podcast, and then when we're not, we're like in front of the telly or whatever. But
Can I let you in a small secret?
what?
Okay. I have deceived you.
What?
I have told you 3 lies.
Tonight?
Yeah. In this podcast.
Tell me all of them.
Do you want? Will you forgive me before I tell you those lies?
Yes.
Okay. The trending topics that are love, spring, and summer are not trending at all.
I knew they were fucking random. Why did you pick
Because
those in random news?
I went on to trending topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and I went on to trending.
Do you know what? You haven't just deceived me.
I've deceived the listeners,
You've
and I'm so
deceived the
sorry, guys.
listeners. That's more
But
important.
there is a reason for it, right?
Why?
Because I went onto Twitter and it's all doom and fucking gloom.
Oh, okay. Let's
It's all doom and gloom.
just do them and we won't talk them. But just tell us what they are.
Like like Moderna is trending, right? Moderna,
what's that?
the vaccine. Apparently, it's
Moderna vaccine. Oh, the
for the thing, right? That's then there's some
why is that trending? Do you know?
apparently the crowd that are making it made a fortune off it. And then they're just giving out that they're making a fortune.
They're pharmaceutical companies, so they're entitled to make a fortune out of.
Right, okay.
As
and then there's
somebody
stuff.
who works, they also
I know
the share prices, yeah. So
I'm
every
not-
member
I'm-
who worked there, yeah, made
I'm
of money.
not- well, let me go into it. Right. But my plan was to do love, spring, and summer. And
That was a bit
but like
Spectrum special, like there
you're
now
calling
with
me
your
special
love,
now, live on the podcast. Like,
your love. All you need
Who are you?
is
My
love.
mum. My mum thinks I'm special as well, like, and not special in the way that you think your child is special. Like, oh, she's my special little boy. It's like, oh, my special boy. At least 1 second. Let's have Moderna here. Moderna CEO is asked to explain why the SARS/CoV-2 contains a gene sequence patented 3 years before the pandemic.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
But it was, but sure, it was always. It was. That was it. It was a vaccine created for something else that was manipulated.
Biden can't stop Moderna from quadrupling the price of its COVID vaccine, and he should. And here's how. So they're.
But it's Twitter. It's Twitter. It's Twitter.
But that's it. That's what I'm not.
Is that where you get your trending topics from?
Well, fucking, that's where trending was invented. Noel.
Sorry, do they
Carol
trend on
Vorderman. She had 6 different lovers.
Oh,
do
that's
you
where
think
you
of her?
put the thing. I like her. Who cares?
Yeah.
Was she married when she had 6 different
She's
lovers?
not. No, she's not. And I tell you one thing. I think
She's
it's
sexy as fuck.
Oh my God, she's very sexy. I think she came out there a couple of weeks ago and said that she's no man, but she's got 6 different friends in brackets. And I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't mind being one of them friends.
Polar. We spoke about this in the podcast before.
So what? Let's talk about it again. What were we talking about? I can't remember.
Polar. I was going to say
polygamy, or is it
Yeah, it's the thing.
lots of
Lots of partners.
That's partners.
Very
we did
interesting.
Actually. We
Yeah,
did.
someone I follow on Instagram follows that way. Go for it.
So
Fair play to her.
she has plenty of partners, is it?
Yeah, she has. I don't know if it's that she has plenty of partners, but she has no interest in having one partner.
Yeah.
She gets different needs from different partners.
But like, okay, so what are the fucking needs like that they need? Like, what are all these needs? Sexual needs? Is that just one box that's been ticked home?
Maybe you need someone to fucking come in your face.
But is it like,
You get that for
is it 6
someone else?
different sexual needs, like, is it?
No, it's not sexual needs, but like, what about, so you've got sexual box, and what about if you've got like somebody who loves to go to matches, like?
This is what I'm asking you. What are the boxes?
Any
is it like
box.
one is sexual, like I'm assuming, right?
Potentially.
Then is the next fella like just taking you out for dinner?
I don't know, do they all have to be the different? I don't think they probably have to be different, like.
Yeah. Look, variety's the spice of life, I suppose, but like, I'd hate
And then
it
they
if you
have
were
like
offing out with 5
terms
different
like,
other lads.
they have terms as well. You can have, like, you could be living with somebody and be with other people. They are your, I don't know what they call them. I
Really?
can't remember anymore now.
1 second now. This is baffling. So if you were like, if you were in a similar situation as Carol Vorderman, you could have, we'll say presumably, Carol Vorderman, presumably, as she has said, has 6 different partners, and at some stage one of them is living with her, and then she might live with someone else for a while.
Oh, really? Is that what
Is that-
you
no,
said?
is
I
it-
didn't see that. I didn't
I'm
see anything
wondering,
about
is that what you're
Carla.
saying? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
what I'm saying is
I'm
you
not
could
saying
be
that's what
living
she-
with someone, right?
Yeah.
And you could share financial responsibilities together. So that is your home partner or your main partner. I don't have enough information to even
Your
have this
basic bitch, like.
conversation. But like,
That's what it
that's
is.
your home, that's your boring bitch. And then that's the main one. Homestead.
Bring value home.
But yeah, so that's
We'll call her Sheila.
We call her Sheila, yeah. And then you've got your, like, your one that you go to go to the football.
So
Like
we'll call dude, someone who
Goes
Sheila,
to
I'm
football.
going with Rebecca there, we're going to the match.
No, and then you've got your sexual one. But who knows? Maybe they're all like,
But would they not all get the ride, like?
maybe they all do, but you're like, how often does Homestead get the right, like?
Sheila mightn't get like Sheila. Like, listen, I'm not speaking for Sheila here now. Who am I to speak for
Maybe
this
Sheila
imaginary
doesn't
Sheila?
want to have it very often. So you go and get some needs off this one, and then maybe sometimes I haven't a clue.
I know we're speculating here,
We're
ladies and
big
gentlemen.
on
If you're listening here
speculation.
for actual facts, you've
Move
come
on.
to the wrong podcast.
Move
okay,
on.
but anyway, my little
But
my little
play.
deceit there was to inject a little bit of positivity, because I don't really want to talk about what's trending, is what I was trying to say. But I have a couple of questions for you, right, before we wrap up the podcast. And this week it's a short one because we could get cut off at any time, lads. We're down to one bar on the podcast. And what I will say before I ask you these questions, if you are listening to this podcast and you like this podcast, will you please do me a favor and just go on to iTunes or go on to Spotify and give it a 5-star rating. It really helps get this podcast out to more listeners. If you want to be super sound altogether, shout me out on Instagram and tag me. That actually helps as well, because then I'll reshare that onto my followers, and you're getting it reshared onto my platform. So we're sharing it. Algorithms is the word I was looking for. Basically, I'm just trying to get it out to more ears.
It makes a huge difference, and I actually don't think, because there's a lot of that as well on Instagram at the moment. Did you know that, like, liking a photo boosts somebody's page? Or did you know that you can save something and it doesn't it's private, like, so nobody knows that you saved down something? But it's huge for the social media platform that is the world now. That is the entertainment
It
business.
literally is. It's for me, it's like every time a post gets a like or a share or there's a comment on it, as you say, it boosts the algorithm and it potentially opens the door to a wider audience.
Oh yeah, it's all those people and all those people.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a spider web, really, isn't it? Like,
That's exactly what it is.
you
And
like one person liking something, or one person liking something probably opens it to 150 people. At random figure. Second bottle of wine. But let's move on.
But anyway, listen, thank you for listening. And if you're like, take no notice of the two of us. Take no notice of the two of us. We're locked. Do you know, it's Sunday night. We have the kids asleep. This is your Saturday night because you're off tomorrow. And I'm actually kind of off tomorrow as well. I'm taking tomorrow off. I'm still do a bit of work, but I'm going to take I'm going to take most of it off.
Sorry, I'm just looking there now for the smallest violin.
Or I shove it up your hole. So,
Okay.
what has Harvey taught you as a human in the last 6 years?
Oh.
No, there you go.
Bomb. It's the middle.
What has he taught you as a human? What has not you
How
have
to
taught
be a
him?
mother.
Okay. That's a great answer. That's actually a great answer. And I think you're a wonderful mother, for the record, for anyone who's listening, by the way. I think you're a wonderful mother. To answer the question myself, because I wanted to answer the question
But I
myself.
didn't ask you.
Well,
I'm only joking. Go on.
He's taught me patience. A greater degree of patience.
That's very true.
I had no patience before Harvey came along, and now I have some patience.
And Hunter as well. I
think Harvey in particular, because sometimes he can be really, really challenging. Really, I don't want to use the word difficult, because he's not difficult. He's just himself. But it can be difficult for people who aren't aware or aren't used to what's coming at them to deal with it. And I find I'm more patient in those scenarios now than I ever would have been. I would have been really, if I saw someone react the way Harvey sometimes reacts when the red mist comes down. If I saw that in a child before Harvey, I would have been like, oh my god, that child is so bold. Oh my god, the parents are.
I like the red mist idea. Actually,
Yeah.
I haven't used that with him.
And it just
The
comes down
anger mist,
where he can't control himself, the creator. And for me anyway, it's patience.
But you know that have you noticed actually now as we discussed this, that really only comes down when the plans don't go to what we had already planned.
Yeah.
Like what we said, like
Yeah.
not asking, can we do this, can we do that?
Yeah.
Like, because today, really minor example, the two of them got I went to Super Value, especially to get the magazines. I needed to do loads of, not 4 trips, places, and Nan was with me, so I was like, get them a magazine, they'll stay in the car with Nan when I go in. So I went to Super Value first, got them the magazine, had a few bits to get there, and I had said, and I had forgotten, I had said I'll make the Lego, Harvey got Lego magazine, I'll make that when we get to Dunn's. And like, he had been fine about, no, you're not coming into Aldi, you're not coming into, I had to go to a chemist, you're not coming in there. But then I was like, no, Harv, I'm just going to pop in here and then I'll be back. But you said that you were going to make my Lego when we got to Dunn's.
Yeah.
So a lot of, and I was like, do you know what, Harv, I completely forgot I said that. I actually did say that. And like, and I do try and say, I can do that this time. This is, and like, I try and do it that if I said I was going to do something and I can still do it, I will do it. But there's times as well that I might have said something and I can't do it. And I try and explain that to him. But like, there's lots of times that he's definitely taught me to, like, sure, if you can do it, just do it. You know, like, it's not for like someone say, oh, for an easy life, but it's more, it's kind of like, well, if I can give them what they want, it's kind of, if I can give them what they want, then why not just give them what they want? And it goes to the gentle parenting, and it goes this kind of movement that is happening anyway in the parenting world, which is you don't need to prepare your kids to be tough for the outside world.
This is exactly what I was trying to do with Hunter today. Which is the instinctive thing to do, which is boys have to be tough. They need muscles. They need to, no, Hunter, you can put your foot down there. You can put up with that little bit of pain. It's okay. Do you know what I mean? But his foot the creator's foot was sore.
Stinging,
You know what I mean? And he was getting stinging, and he's only 3. And that's the instinctive fatherhood way of doing it. But I do think, and like, look, there's like, he who is without sin cast the first stone. There's nobody perfect. Everything we always do for our kids, we always do it with the best of intentions in the world, you know. But I do think, and I'm reading that book that you have upstairs about, I know it's written from the perspective of a female child with autism. But
they've tried to make it for.
But I am finding really beneficial stuff in it. But I do think the gentle parentinghood and there's nothing wrong with giving your child what they want, as long as it's not like, you know, as long as it's not a material thing all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's not, as long as it's not unsafe, unhealthy to an extent, like, you know, and if you can afford it, or it's within the budget of the life, or you know what I mean. It's
like, for example, with Harv, like, he'll say to me, oh, can we go to the shop? And if I say yeah, then he'll want to get sweets in the shop, right? But if we get over to the shop, he's okay at saying, if he brings up something to me, no, we're not getting that. He'll say why, and I'll say, let me have a look at the ingredients. Look, there's loads of emulsifiers and that. Now, he doesn't know what emulsifiers are, but I'll say, which are really bad for you, and he'll just take that then and bring it back, and then we'll negotiate into things, and then we could leave with a lollipop.
You're mad for the old lollipops.
And like, but we could have started off with a fucking like one of those big long Cadbury's bars that he picked out one day. Do you know, like that's a family size bar. Like, and we'll end up with a lollipop. But I find once you talk to him and talk things through with him.
Same with Hunter.
And the same with Hunter.
Actually, same with Hunt. Like, if
we're going to get him assessed.
I know, but I actually think it's and
Well,
we are.
like,
but I actually think that
we're in the process.
A lot of that is still like you're talking to your kids, and you're kind of bamboozling them with information in a way as well.
And
like
Harvey's he's hilarious. Like, I mean, the one thing that the Asperger's does is it gives him an intellect where his vocabulary is like way beyond his years.
Sometimes his vocabulary is way beyond his understanding.
And it's beyond his understanding. Like, how embarrassing. Although, like, when I was
he uses that now, like,
when he found
in
out
wrong context.
when he found out at Christmas that I was doing the improv panto, and that I was
Cinderella or whatever. Jasmine
I was Jasmine
and
Aladdin, and he was like, "Oh my God, Dad, that was so embarrassing for you." And I was like, not really, Harv, not really. That goes into territory. Last question, okay? Last question. What has Hunter taught you as a human in the last 3 years?
I wish you'd have told me that the next question was going to be about Hunter, because you said, like, oh, what did Harvey teach you? I was like, there's also Hunter.
Yeah.
What has Hunter taught me? That the two of them are so opposite yet so similar, and there's a lot of things about Hunter that are making me think that he's not autistic in a way, and then there are some things that put him into the autistic bracket or whatever, but like even though Harvey was great for routines and stuff as well, but anyway, Hunter loves to cook. Today,
what has he taught you though?
What has he taught me? Probably patience again. Jesus, the two of them are really patient draining. To be honest, we love them, and they are. And Hunter is the cutest child, and he is, when he puts his shoulder up to go, we go little rascals, and he puts on a little smile, or Manny, you sit down beside me and we watch Little Angels on the telly. And even the fact he calls me Manny, like, I feel like when we're talking about them, we should have a warning going, all this conversation is external to the fact that Cornelius and Noel love their children with all of their being and all of their hearts. They are using this platform to vent the frustrations that they have not done all day when they were fucking gentle parenting. So please take everything that they say about the children with not a pinch, but like a mound of salt that has just been added to and added to and added to. The salt quota is well and above the recommended dosage.
We're talking a fistful of salt here.
Because Noelle checks the salt content and sugar content of all food items that she gives the children.
She does in our mouths. Come here, I'll tell you what Hunter has taught me. Hunter has taught me that individuality exists, and Hunter is exactly what the fucking Cork footballers need. Individuality. He is like what I like, he's so different to Harvey in personality, and he is so 100% himself.
And but you know what? He's so 100% ours. Like, he does things that remind me so much of me sometimes.
Good to know that he's he's definitely mine. Yeah.
But like,
good. No, that's just because I wasn't doubting it at all now. No, but I'm worried about Harvey now.
That's the anonymity, or what's that?
What?
What's the term?
I don't know. Sure, this is all that's inside in your head. No, I can't. Give me Give me a sentence to describe what you're thinking about, and I'll try and tell you the word you're thinking about. And the thing with podcasts as well is that, you know, you talk.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I can't talk about him actually. I can't verbalize what I'm trying to say right now.
All right.
Like
he's unashamedly himself. But that's
he's
what
like an anomaly, but is it an anomaly? No,
I don't think so.
word.
I don't know what you want to say though. Like what I'm trying to say about what he's taught me is not to fucking judge a book by its cover, or to have no expectations, because we had Harvey, right? And Harvey was like, you know, he really was a golden child, like, do you know what I mean? In terms of, he was, once you gave him routine, like he followed routine, like his bedtime was a great example, and he thrives in routine, whereas Hunter thrives in anarchy. He's bold, he's adventurous, he's mischievous, he does it with it, and he is does it with a smirk, and I know we're his parents, so we're going to have those rose tinted glasses, but he has that cheeky kind of underdog attitude that I kind of look at him sometimes and I'm just like, fucking I love you, boy. Well, I love you because you're just, even though like you're being really bold around the house now, like, and like
taking the toy off Harvey, waiting,
give that back to Harvey. No, and I'm writing comedy about him at the moment, and like I'm doing a show at the end of this year, and I know that by the time I'm doing the big show that I'm doing, right, he's going to be a different kid at that stage, but I still want to write it because I want to capture the way he is now. I was doing it in the Coke Club at the weekend, and I felt that it went well, and I still think it's, I just don't know, if he continues to be the way he is, for me, what he's taught me is not to judge a book by its cover, or not to have expectations before you meet someone or of someone. Take them as they are, and go from there. Do you know? Because I was almost, and naively so, expecting Hunter to be the same as Harvey. Do you know? And they're chalk and cheese, no more different than I am from my sisters.
I don't know what you're saying about expecting them to be different. Like, you're kind of painting Harvey that he was a golden child. Like, I'm
not saying that at all. I'm saying they're I'm saying he's a completely different child to Harvey. I'm not saying Harvey was a golden child. Harvey, obviously, as we've talked about, there's, you know, challenges with Harvey, ups and downs, like any child.
Harvey's way better now than Harvey was always gorgeous and loving and everything.
I always thought Harvey was a bit of a dickhead, actually, to be honest about it. Do you know what I mean? And you've questioned it there earlier on, whether he was even mine. So, you know. Listen, I have one more thing to say to you now before I'm after telling you another lie in this podcast. So I said this is the last question, but there's actually one more question, right? Oh. But I've written it down, but you already addressed it earlier on, but we're going to finish on it anyway. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
11 years.
As I yawn into this mic. I'm very sorry for that.
11 years we're with each other. We're married 9 of those years. Is it 10 years this year or 9 years this year? Oh, 9.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. 9.
9 years married this year.
9 years this year. So 10 next year.
Okay. 2014 we got married.
Before we go, I just want to talk about the wedding. I was looking at a photograph of us today inside. You know, the photograph of us on our wedding day, and I was trying to think, because I was on the way to collect mine, guy, and I was trying to think, because I've been smoking weed for the last 11 years, and I'm trying to think if I like what are my memories like, you know, and I was trying to remember our wedding day, and I was like, okay, so let's have a look. Let's try and remember your wedding day, and I could remember it quite vividly.
Thank God for that.
And it was brilliant. It was an amazing day. But I was what came into my head was, do you remember when we left the party, you and me, to go back to the hotel?
Yeah, there's a picture of that. Yeah.
And we were walking up.
Oh, up the steps.
Up the steps, you and I, and we were leaving everyone. We'd left everyone behind. It was just you and I. And it was just It was you and me, first time being by ourselves that day, on the way back to our hotel. Walking back, like, in the heat, and I just remember we stopped and we're looking out at the sea,
Mm.
the Mediterranean Sea, and I just remember going, wow, this is the beginning. I remember feeling that and
I
thinking
don't
that.
remember that at all. No, I do, actually. No,
Yeah.
it was great. It was a great wedding. Well, I think everyone actually thinks their own wedding was a great wedding, right? Even though I was definitely about to pass out at the church, because that's what it's funny, where a photo, like it's like it resurfaced, but a photo was in our storage area in the house, and I was trying to sort it slightly.
It's
and
a lovely photo of us.
Stunning.
I mean,
But
we're never going
Hunter,
to look as good as
no
we
way,
did that day.
ever. But Hunter broke the frames, so they were in the storage area to be something. My house is full of intentions. Excuse me, sorry for yawning. But my house is full of intentions, so the broken frames were put into the storage area, but I was trying to sort that area the last day, so one of the photos came out. So this is like, it's a photo from our wedding. We have one photo of our wedding inside in the other sitting room, so we very rarely look at it, but this one is a really gorgeous photo of the two of us, and it's now out of a frame, up on our microwave with a magnet, like up with the kids, like in the midst of the kids' drawings and stuff like that. So it's like thrown into the chaos of current life, and so no wonder it'll draw you back to the day,
But
or
it's
whatever.
lovely that it's there, actually.
Yeah, it's nice.
Now
I
that
don't think
about
it'll
it,
move. But like Connie was thrown back into the magical walkway, and I was thrown into looking at the bags underneath my eyes the day of my wedding, and I was so dehydrated. Like,
Why were you dehydrated?
because we'd been drinking like
Oh,
for
yeah.
4 days beforehand. I couldn't even do 2 days a session,
Yeah.
or 3 days. Maybe Wednesday
Jesus.
at the airport, like the hotel. That was the Tuesday night before we flew out from Dublin. Remember, Auntie Sally had
Oh my God.
prosecco in the hotel airport. Like, there was just droves. That was a gorgeous evening, wasn't it?
So and like
that
we
was the
like some of
Tuesday
us only
night.
barely made the plane the next day. Like
Yeah, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, Friday night. Thursday night was a big one.
Thursday night was epic. That was the biggest night.
And
I remember
lashing
Danny
rain.
going around the place buying everyone fat frogs.
Lashing rain, torrential rain.
Thunderstorm.
On a hill, the wedding, like the Amalfi is kind of on a hill, and just like pouring rain. I remember looking out, a couple of tears coming down, gin
It
and
was
tonics in
biblical.
hand, and it was just flowing down the street. And this was the Thursday night. The wedding was on Saturday. Going, I can't fucking believe it. We've a plane full of people coming tomorrow, and it is torrential rain. But anyway,
And it was like it was as close to biblical as you can get. Like, I mean, there was torrents of water going down those cobble
there's
streets.
one pub, like one. No, it wasn't even a pub, but there was one place that sold alcohol. Later on, like we
Yeah.
were,
We
the Irish
called it
wedding
the
that we're
Italian
in.
Chasers. There's a place in Mallow called Chasers. It doesn't open anymore, but it was like it would do late night drinks until 2:00. This place, it was like a Chasers. It was like where
Just
the local,
tiny.
it was where the local kind of scumbags hung out. Like, you know,
Or the locals? No, not the locals. Come back, just the locals after work.
I'm going to say scumbags because there was a few
Just the
scumbags
epic,
there. Yeah. Well, there was a few scumbags there when I went in. Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, this, but
Speaking of rose tinted glasses,
but at the same time, like, I'm fucking no different to a fucking, like, I used to live in Chasers, like, so I'm clearly a scumbag.
scumbag.
So I'm not.
But,
I'm just fucking categorizing the people.
So then,
But we
by
took
the
it
day,
over.
Yeah,
We took it
did
over.
for the few days. Yeah, in fairness, and they were like, I didn't pay for any drink in there. Like that.
Yeah, we
Thursday
still owe a
night.
big bill there, do we?
It's their bill for us, and or the Sunday night, like that. They just gave me drink away, but so the day of the wedding was warm. It wasn't roasting. It wasn't like epically hot. It was warm. It was warm, but there was a beam of light, and there's a class photo of it.
Yeah.
But
coming through the church.
Beam
down
of
onto your
light
back.
coming down onto my back.
That's God, man.
But did God really want me to fucking nearly pass out like on
That's
the day?
fucking the universe. That's your dad.
Daddy?
Shining down from heaven.
Did he?
He's
Daddy,
like-
come on.
He overdid it. He couldn't be there on the day, so
So
he
he-
overdid it.
Took the moment.
Yeah.
Daddy, you nearly had me genuinely nearly
I
passing
remember.
out.
So I was kneeling beside you. It was on my back as well. You know, like, but it was like, I remember Danny was at one side and Hazel was the other side. The four of us were dying.
But like, why didn't we think?
No, we
Because
were all
people had
hungover as
water. People had water in the aisles, like, so they were grand.
We had the fans as well. Anyway, listen, we
We
might talk about that
diversed.
again some other day. We might do a wedding podcast. We never went into the full realms of the wedding. We did our first. We might do a wedding podcast for Patreon only. Okay, maybe this month, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's late. We got to edit this podcast now. What time is it now, babe?
Oh my God, do we have to edit
Oh, yeah.
tonight? I'll edit it in the morning.
No, it goes out at midnight, so it has to go up there now. Yeah. So, but it's just do a quick job, lads. I love you. Thank you so much for listening and staying in contact with me and my wife and
And
everybody
singing
else.
by the wall.
And please remember, stay in by the wall. Good night. God
Good
bless.
night.
Blah 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 blah.